Hey guys, today we are making fried catfish. This is fresh fried Mississippi catfish from one of our fresh catfish ponds. We're also going to make a potato salad to go along with that and some coleslaw. This is going to be a great meal, so I hope you stay with us and learn how to make this delicious fried catfish. So the first thing that I'm doing is getting my potatoes peeled. I like to peel them with a paring knife. I don't like to use a potato peeler. Even though you lose a little bit of the potato, to me it's much faster to peel this way. So I'm going to get them peeled and cut up into dices, large dices, because we're making a potato salad. We don't want them too small. And then I have some cabbage that I'm going to cut up for our coleslaw. I'm going to get that prepped and ready, and then we're going to cook off our beautiful Mississippi catfish. For our cabbage, we're going to cut this up into small pieces because we're going to make just a basic slaw. There's lots of different ways to make slaw. In the South, we do it with a lot of different dishes. And we like to top southern pulled pork with it. We like to put it on burgers. We love to have it next to fried food. But it's kind of simple and kind of basic. So it's cabbage that we're going to cut up into as thin as we can get it. And I'm going to lay this down and cut this into thin pieces. We're going to mix this with some shredded carrot and then just a simple dressing. I'm grating up the carrot for our coleslaw. One whole carrot. Make sure we get it all. We're going to add that to our cabbage, and we're going to let that just kind of hang out for a minute before we get our dressing ready for it. I'm getting my fish station ready for... I'm getting my dredging station ready for my catfish. We have 3 steps to this station. So in this first container, I have just plain flour. I'm going to have a bowl that's going to have egg and milk. And then the third station is going to have a fish fry that's mixed with a little bit of flour. But to that station, I want to add a little bit of secret seasoning and some salt and pepper, because that's going to be some flavor that's in our fish, and we want to make sure that we get some flavor into that coating. This is a basic setup for doing any kind of frying when you're trying to coat with a nice batter. When we do fish, usually we like to use some cornmeal in there, and a fish fry usually has that cornmeal in it. It's a little bit different texture for the fish. So traditionally that's what we like to use. I'm doing salt and pepper. Good bit. And then this one, we just want to mix the egg in with that milk. So this is a 3-step process. We're going to dredge it in the plain flour first. Then we're going to dredge it in the egg mixture. And then we're going to run it through our seasoned flour. It's going to get a little messy, so I like to use forks to do this because it tends to want to stick to your hands. Get all of our seasoning mixed in here, and I'll show you how the first piece goes, and I'll show you our beautiful Mississippi catfish. So Mississippi is known for its catfish. The Delta has lots of catfish ponds. It's beautiful catfish that's here from Mississippi. Here's what our catfish looks like. Nice, beautiful fillets of catfish. We're going to dip them in our batter and fry them up. So we want to take one of the pieces of catfish and we want to put it in the plain flour first. And that plain flour kind of helps to dry the outside and help the rest of the coating to stick. Then we're going straight into the egg mixture, and then we're going into our flavored cornmeal and flour mixture, and we're going to do that with all of our pieces, and then they're going straight into the hot oil. Now our oil has been heating up. You want your oil to be at least 350 when you go in there. You don't want the oil to be cold because the fish will soak up the oil, and also you don't want to crowd the pan with a lot of fish because then it will drop the temperature of your oil as well. So we want to make sure that we only put a few pieces in at a time and fry them up really crisp, and then let the oil heat back up and then add more. So it is a little bit of a process. It's going to take a few minutes to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get these battered up. Our oil is heating up, and like I said, we want our oil to be about 350 before we actually put our fish in there. In this pot, I have the potatoes boiling, and once they come to a boil, we want to salt them. We're going to keep checking our potatoes because we want our potatoes to be soft to the fork, but we don't want them to break apart. We're not making mashed potatoes, so we want them to be soft but not falling apart. So I'm going to try a fork and see, and they're looking like they're about done. We want them to hold their shape. Yes, those are about done. So it sounds like our oil is ready. I'm going to go ahead and lower a couple of pieces of catfish into the oil. Remember, we don't want to overcrowd the pan, so I'm going to do 3, and that's it. While that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and drain the potatoes and get them back in a bowl so that we can make our potato salad. So once we get it battered and coated, when we put it in the oil, it actually goes pretty quickly, and it gets this nice golden brown color. We want to make sure when we take our fish out of the hot oil that we let some of that drip off. We're going to put it on a plate with some type of cloth or tea towel to drain off some of the excess oil. And it's very important that you salt it right when it comes out of that oil. While the fish is all hot, we've got to get some salt on there and let it melt down into the fish. I'm going to finish the last 2 pieces of fish, and then we're going to head back over to the cutting board and make the rest of the sides to go with our cat. While our fish is cooking, and before we do our slaw or our potato salad, I want to show you how to make a quick and easy tartar sauce. Every time I go somewhere to have fish and I ask for tartar sauce, they don't know how to make tartar sauce. Tartar sauce needs to be mustardy and vinegary, and that's what goes perfect with the fish. Our base is mayo. To that, we're going to add some yellow mustard, and we're going to add some dill pickle relish. Stir that around. You're going to see that it's more yellow than white. A lot of times when you get a tartar sauce that's more white, it's going to have sweet pickles in it, and it's going to have more mayo, and that is not my favorite. I think you will like this tartar sauce. So the last thing we're going to add to it is a little bit of secret seasoning. If you don't have secret seasoning, you could use some granulated garlic, granulated onion, and some herbs and spices of your choice, or you can order the secret seasoning over on our webpage at chefdannycooks.com. And that's it. That is your amazing tartar sauce to go with our fish. Now we're going to make our potato salad. While our fish finishes frying over on the range, we're going to go ahead and get our sides together. So our potatoes are still warm, and now would be the time that you want to put some chopped onion in here. And I have to tell you that I am so sad that I am actually out of onion tonight. It's one of my favorite things in the world, and my potato salad will not have any. But please put some in yours. Make sure that you put the onions in when the potatoes are hot, because then the onions flavor the potatoes really well. So I guess I'm gonna have to skip that step today, which makes me really sad. The next thing that goes in there is dill relish, and it needs to be dill, not sweet relish. And we're going to put a good bit. And then we're going to put some yellow mustard. This is more of a mustardy type potato salad. It does have mayo in it, but it's not as mayo forward. And then of course we're going to add our mayo. Okay, now we want to make sure that we salt and pepper. Even though the potatoes got salted in the pan, we still need some more salt and pepper going on. A little bit of flavor. You could also use a Dijon mustard in this instead of the regular yellow mustard, but I prefer it with the yellow mustard, so that's what I'm using in here. And once again, please make sure you add onions. I'm very sad that we don't have them today. That will be the first thing we get tomorrow. All right, we're going to stir it gently. And we want to make sure that we don't break the potatoes up. We're not trying to make mashed potato salad. We're trying to make potato salad. So we want to have the potatoes in whole pieces. It's very simple, but delicious with our fish. All right, that's it. That's our basic potato salad. And you could add other things to this if you'd like. Capers are nice in there, olives are nice in there, but my favorite is just with the dill pickles and extra onions, please. We're gonna go ahead and make our coleslaw next. The last thing we're gonna mix together for our beautiful catfish meal is our coleslaw, and I'm gonna make this the way that my grandmother always made it, which was super simple and easy, and everybody loved it. There's lots of different ways to make slaw, and I use a lot of vinegars and things like that when I make them, but this is gonna be Grandma's recipe, so this is for her. So she would do salt and pepper, and she would do mayo, and stir that around, and that is all she would add to it. Now sometimes it's nice to add just a little bit of sriracha to this. You can add just a splash of some vinegar to it, but she made it simple and basic, and that's what everybody loved. It's a nice thing to have with your catfish. It's a nice thing to have with any fried meals. Some people like to add a little bit of sugar to it. I don't like the sugar in there, but it's certainly an option if you prefer a little sweetness to it. This is the way we always made it, and this is the way Grandma always had it, and it was always delicious. Just a simple, basic slaw. So there we have our slaw. We have our potato salad, and the star, of course, of the show is our beautiful catfish. I even fried a little bit of okra to go with it, and you can see the recipe for that video in one of my other videos that I will link to this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please click the like button and subscribe. Make sure you click that notification bell so you get notified whenever we put up new videos. And if you're looking for more content and extra videos, go over to our Patreon page and become a patron. For as little as $3 a month, you can see some of our fabulous extra videos there. And for $50 a month, you get free online classes for the whole year. So make sure you join us on Patreon and subscribe to our YouTube page. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy.